jail booth became a confessional, full of admitted sins, forgiveness, and answered prayers. In the midst of his ramblings about how and why he could do better, I heard myself mumble, "Brother, we need you."
Welcome to the Black Man Lab Afterflow. I am Marty Vonnegut, the executive director of the Black Man Lab. We are here in Clayton County, and we have had a beautiful Black Man Lab this evening. And we got some brothers here that are going to share. I got my brother Clayton Bobbitt with me, our program manager. Clayton, what did you think about tonight?
I absolutely love it. I appreciate you opening your doors and allowing this safe and sacred and healing space for our black men to occur, man. And I absolutely loved it.
Beautiful. So, brothers, I'm going to have y'all just give a quick introduction to our Black Man Lab, who you are, and then we're going to get into the conversation a little bit.
Great. My name is Tony Schuler. I'm just a local community member that is just passionate about empowering the youth, specifically in financial empowerment and literacy.
I'm Keith Barksdale. I'm the pastor of Valley Hill Baptist Church. Today is where they had the Black Men's Lab. And I also run Clayton Community Resource Network group, and I'm excited too. I was very interested to hear what they had to say. Kind of wanted to be a little bit more radical, but and I say that in a very good way. But it was good conversation.
Well, I'm going to tell you, Pastor. First of all, thank you for opening your doors and having us here. It was a great setting for us, and it was beautiful. But I will tell you, the Black Man Lab is pretty radical, man. We were visiting, so we didn't want to, we want to shake the earth too much.
You can shake it, baby. Shake it.
We know next time. We know next time. But tell me what you all thought about the lab tonight, from kind of beginning to end, of what you experienced and your thoughts on, maybe the good and maybe the bad, whatever, so that we can have a better understanding of what your impression is of the Black Man Lab.
Well, I can go ahead and kick us off, and I think tonight was great. It was just a safe space for men in the community to come together to just talk about various issues that impact our community, and we talked about the local government and the importance of voting. But I think it's just important the assembly of black men coming together, speaking life to each other, supporting one another, and really trying to impact our local community and really locking arms.
And I thought it was, I loved it. And I loved it. I was glad they were here at the church. It's a place where all black men ought to be. But from the perspective of the Black Man Lab, the moderator, Brother Marty, and the other brother did a good job of setting a pace. And just seeing all the brothers around, just the different opinions, but at the same time, collectively, how we feel. And what we need to do, and how it was articulated. So I enjoyed it. It was my first. I've heard the Black Man Lab. It's my first experience with it. It won't be my last. We will open up our doors for something to happen in this county. But I thought it was great. And anytime you're getting black men together, thinking positive, thinking future, embracing one another, diverse, different ages. I just truly believe at this time, in history, that we can take some real positive steps for our communities and our families.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, thank you for the space. But it's imperative that we have these spaces where we have a safe kind of a environment that we can share all of our concerns, right? Because it's the only way we're going to get better.
Yeah,
it's the only way that we're going to get better if we can share our experiences and concerns. So that we can build. Ultimately, this isn't just about today. This is about our kids.
I totally agree. Yeah. It's something, also, it's okay to disagree and still have healthy respect for one another, because we're not gonna always believe the same thing or whatever. And it's okay to disagree.
Yeah.
But we know in our disagreeing, if there's any, we're not disagreeable people. We're just understanding that somebody may see it just a little different, but it does not keep us from locking arms as we did as we closed, and saying, hey, we're going forward together, and we're going to make it. We're going to be successful. This newer generation is coming up a lot wiser and stronger. We just want to make sure that there's the right guidance.
Absolutely.
So the Black Man Lab, I'm excited, man. I'm really excited.
Thank you, brother.
I'm glad you're excited.
Mm-hmm.
I want to know, it's a bit of a two-pronged question. So the first, because I know you said today was your first time in the Black Man Lab, I wanted to know, could you all share your first political memory that you remember? And then can you touch on a little bit of the significance of having your political voice being expressed and used through a vote?
My memories of it will go back then to Jimmy Carter. When he was elected, and it was like the person from the South. I was able, to be honest with you, I was able to go to college on a grant at that time when, the Pell Grants were pretty much, if you went to HBCU, would take care of most of your tuition. That's the thing I love go. But I can't. What the other part of that question was? What was the other part of that question? You said, what my first political memory?
Yes, and then the significance of being able to use your voice now.
Well, I'm older. I have experiences. I have successes and failures, and I'm more capable and more bold to say what needs to be done than I was when I was younger because I was afraid of backlash. But now I've seen and lived, so backlash doesn't mean anything to me. I just want to make sure that, truth is out there. And I stand for, and what I stand for, I believe in. So, and I want to use my voice in that area to say, hey, whatever your giftedness is, whatever, believe in it, stand up, let your voice be heard. Yeah, that's why.
Appreciate you, Pastor.
And I would say my first thought or memory in government is just back in elementary school, Terra Elementary, which is a local elementary here in Clayton County. In the library, they used to have all the presidents, lined up along the wall. And so just walking in there and seeing all these pictures of former presidents, it just kind of piqued my interest just about, government. And, even during that time, the Desert Storm War was going on. And, my father, who's an Army, veteran, was in that war. And so I had a chance to, just learn more about, just government and politics and war and the economy and, things of that nature on a very elementary scale, but, it has stuck with me, throughout my life. And, I just think it's important that, all of our voices be heard. We all have different experiences, come from different walks of life, and I think we all can contribute. We just have to make sure we do it in a way that's unifying. And that's one thing I love about this movement here is that it's not black men just coming together, talking about it, but being really about it by assembling, these kind of events. And it doesn't only start here, but it goes beyond these walls, to the community, all up and down the political lines. So it's really great, this movement that's going on, right now. And I commend my brothers for, just assembling us black men and just empowering us with the voice.
Appreciate that. That's for so long people have told us what we think, right? You look on social media and in the media, and they're always talking about, well, black men say this, black men think this, without actually asking black men. So that's what this whole tour that we're on is really about. It's really about us giving a space for us to have our true voices heard, right? And then not only that, but being able to learn from one another and like we've said 101 times, in a safe space, right? Yes. Nobody's judging you for anything being said.
That's right.
That's it. Let me ask y'all this. Was there one thing that you got from tonight that somebody said that kind of just stuck out to you, that just made you say, didn't think of something that way, or, I'm going to utilize that in my life, or whatever it may be, something that just jumped out to you that you heard this evening?
Well, for me, it was just the idea of community involvement, boots to the ground and actually being out there in the community, doing what we can. Might that be speaking into a young person's life, or just the different things we can do to build up our local community. There were several individuals tonight that spoke on just what they're doing. So I think it's important that collectively we work together, but we also have to hold ourselves accountable to what we're doing. But it was just very exciting seeing that these men here were really about it, and they spoke on what they're doing, which was really inspiring for the younger generation, and just instilling that black men are more than just criminals and druggies, and just the how we're portrayed. Because here tonight we're unified, we're positive, we're talking about solutions, and we just came together, and it was a beautiful thing. And like you said, there needs to be more of these kind of things that go on more often. So I appreciate you really taking on head first, and representing who we truly are, and really open up our eyes to the power we do have when we come together, and definitely when we go to the polls in November.
And that's what they're most afraid of.
Yeah.
Right. And they do whatever they can to make that not happen, but we know better. Pastor?
When we got into the conversation, and the brother brought up Project 2025, and it stirred on me. I mean, especially to find out Addis date of being written and things of that nature. But it stirred me to think about, what about us and putting a mandate together for our community. Don't have to be written in 6 months, but through a series of times, individuals, and then we have a mandate politically, socially, economically, educationally, that sort of thing of and it could be called mandate or project mandate or whatever, maybe 2030. But it sets out from 2030 for another 30 or 40 years. We have enough intelligence to do that. But that's when that conversation came up, that's what it just jarred, it just hit me right then. What about if we did something positively, and not in restricting, but freeing, and educating and empowering our community? So that was really very insightful. But that he said that, and it brought something out of me that I had been thinking but never thought, never put it publicly.
Sure.
You just see it, and how you think about stuff, but it's in your mind, but it has never been verbalized. So, but just the intelligence that was in the room, was powerful.
Yeah, and we we're so used to that Band-Aid process, right? Where we constantly have these wounds that occur, and we're constantly Band-Aiding them and then moving on to the next thing, right? But what we lack is that kind of long-term planning.
Yeah, long-term planning.
And I 100% agree with you. That's something that we're really built on. The lab is. You just mentioned something. There's really 4 pillars of what we work under, which is personal growth, professional development, economic empowerment, and political education. Those are really our 4 overarching things that we focus on in the lab, because we know that if we get those things under control, right, like we get our personal selves where we need to be from a work aspect, if we are professionally built the right way, we're going to lead there. If we are leading with our economy, where our economic engagement is where it needs to be, we got the money in our pocket, now we can lead from there. And then, of course, on the political side, if we are building the right young people to be in those political spaces, the future is bright, right? So I appreciated you saying that. And it caused me to just run on that rant. So thank you.
Yeah.
Brothers, the other thing that we do is we always ask, what are your habits, rituals, and disciplines that you do on a daily basis that keep you moving, right? Whatever your walk is in life, obviously, us as black men, there's a lot that comes at us on a daily basis.
Yes.
But we got some basic things that we do every day that keep us moving forward. So if you could just share with our Black Man Lab audience what your habits, rituals, and disciplines are, so that maybe there's somebody out there that doesn't have any, they might add whatever you're doing. I just shared before that somebody at one time talked about doing those deep breaths that we did at the beginning of the night. Now that's become a habit for me every day, and a ritual. I do it every morning because that's how I start my day. But how about you, brother?
Well, my discipline is I'm going to pray daily, and probably not at the same time every day, but I'm going to pray daily, and I'm going to read. I mean, I'm just, that's just me, and I try to make those a habit. And I want to be honest with you. Sometimes it's not every day, but it's a discipline and a ritual that I know when I miss it, I get out of kilter.
Yeah.
And the habit of, Pastor told me this a long time ago, meet new friends every day. So try to meet some people and just talk with them. So those are kind of it for me. Don't always happen as I think it ought to, but that's kind of where I am. Yeah.
That's beautiful. Like that. Meet somebody new every day. How about you, brother?
Yeah, for me, I'm a man of faith, so I definitely pray and spend time with God, every day, and I'm real big on my local community. So I volunteer full time, and I make it a point to meet youth weekly that I can speak life into, and also teach financial literacy. And then also make it a habit to exercise daily. And also I'm real big on personal development. So I do a lot of reading, and I listen to a lot of podcasts, and watch the financial news daily for at least 2 hours. So this is normally my daily routine every day.
Beautiful. Like
Marty, can I just say that I really appreciate how both of you talk about how you're in your community and making sure that you're making a new friend or you're helping the youth, and there's that social engagement aspect of it. I really appreciate y'all doing that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, brothers, thank you again. Thank you for sharing this time. Thank you for what you shared when we were in the Black Man Lab. And yes, Pastor, we're gonna be back.
Come back.
And we're gonna
doors open.
This might be the new site of Clayton County Black Man Lab, brother.
We open the door.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's all I need is a yes, and I'm in, Brothers, can we lock arms?
Yeah.
And I want y'all just to look straight out there to our Black Man Lab audience and say, I am a link in this chain.
I am a link in this chain.
And it won't break here.
And it won't break here.
Ashe.
Ashe.
All right. Thank y'all,
All right.
man. Appreciate
Thank
you.
you. Thank you.
Y'all are awesome.
Appreciate you, brother.
The jail booth became a confessional, full of admitted sins, forgiveness, and answered prayers. In the midst of his ramblings about how and why he could do better, I heard myself mumble, "Brother, we need you."